A new season of Westworld has started, and it is clear that the focus of the show has changed from being about the amazing technology and the idea of a fully immersive theme park, and is now all about the characters. It's usually the part in a show's life where viewership starts to fall off, a little bit like when Walking Dead stopped being about killing zombies. But it's also the part of the show which I really love, because it's the part of the show where the writers get to experiment with the characters. In Westworld's case, it gives us the chance to talk about something that science doesn't get to talk about very often. Humanity. A lot of the time when the characters speak, it's like, I know you said something really profound, but oh my gosh, is that a robot buffalo? Despite all the carnage and destruction and stuff that just makes Westworld awesome, the really stand-out moments are hidden in the characters and their struggle to get to grips with their reality, to understand who they are and what they are, which puts the show deep into the realms of philosophy of science. There are just moments in this show where you begin to realize, oh my gosh, I'm feeling emotion for these characters. I care whether they live or die, but they're robots. Are they even alive? I should be rooting for the humans, right? And maybe I would if the humans weren't so obviously the villains of this show. What show can you say that you've seen that makes you feel or empathize with objects, not living things like humans or animals or aliens, but machines? So it got me thinking, what is the line between human and artificial intelligence? And has Westworld managed to cross it? Dolores Bernard Maeve? I think that's how you pronounce her name. So what if the reason these characters feel human to us is because they are human? To decide if the robots in Westworld are human, we need to figure out the answer to one question. What exactly is the difference between human and artificial intelligence? The term intelligence is pretty subjective. We humans aren't even sure how to measure our own intelligence. IQ tests are great, but they only measure intelligence in specific areas. What's interesting is that in Westworld, Bernard kind of created himself. I know he was originally created by Ford, but he's been working on improving the robots in the park, and every update he made, he unknowingly made to himself. And in this season, Bernard is obviously having a difficult time really knowing whether he is human or robot. He is an AI so advanced that he can't decide if he is human or simply experiencing the feeling of humanity. And Westworld might just be a show, but our AI are constantly being used to figure out solutions. And we can just as easily program an AI to figure out a solution to improve in itself, and then allow it to go about implementing those improvements. Theorists are constantly comparing the human brain to AI. The way they're constructed and the way they work are so similar to AI programming that it's just sometimes difficult to tell the difference between the two. Alan Turing had created a test to determine whether AI had developed human intelligence. The test was that if a human, when talking to both an AI and another human, couldn't tell the difference between the two, then it would have meant that the AI had developed human intelligence, that it was thinking outside of its programming.
God, might some of them even be dressed as if they're human?
Like any intelligence test, the Turing test has its own problems, like who would be qualified to administer a test like that? If you think about it, Bernard conducted really similar tests on Dolores and all the other robots in the park. What would it mean if an AI was the one running this Turing test? In Westworld, Bernard had a pretty good idea that Dolores' thinking was well outside of what she was programmed to think. I honestly think that's the whole point of the show. They're trying to get us humans to think subjectively about our own intelligence and how we classify human intelligence. It directly echoes a thought that Stephen Hawking had. If AI could redesign itself, it would end humanity. And the humans in Westworld do see themselves as more advanced than the robots because they had the intelligence to create them. But as soon as the robots become aware of their own intelligence, they try to destroy the human world. What do you think? Are all the robots in Westworld advanced enough to be considered human? I also want to know if you think Dolores has gone way too far and you're secretly afraid of her, and you're rooting that the humans might regain power at some point. I mean, I was scared of Black Hat, but I'll be honest, Dolores is starting to freak me out a little.
Why on earth would you ever be frightened of me?
Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you want to see more content, please like and subscribe to my channel because I post videos about science fiction all the time.